My impression of Catholic High School is a good one before I came in. After all, it's a SEP school, and my brother is also from Catholic High School. My parents especially like the fact that like the emphasis on Chinese, because they are Chinese educated. So they sent me to Catholic High School, and my brother had a very good experience here as well. I feel that the learning experience has not really changed that much, except that students have more opportunities now compared to in the past. For example, like internship opportunities for 1 full year in Sec 3, and the facilities have changed a lot, because when I came here, the school was undergoing prime project, so I was actually studying in the primary school section. The secondary school is undergoing renovation, so we do not have things like CO room for practice, and we do not have home economics room or D&T room. So those lessons were actually in class, and when we practice in the Chinese orchestra, we have to practice at an open area instead of being in a soundproof room. So sometimes people will complain. But from 2004 onwards, the facilities from 2004 until now has been the same, and there's not much change in my opinion. I think my experience in Catholic High has been wonderful. As a student, I had many very good teachers. For example, Mrs. Anna Tan was my math teacher. After our O-level geography paper, I could remember that she actually waited outside the hall with our dinner, and then she allowed us to go into the library to eat it while she prepared us for the paper tomorrow. And also my English teacher actually stayed back all the way until 6 plus, 7 plus just to prepare us for our oral. Okay, I feel that the teachers are very devoted. Okay, and until now, most of my best friends are from Catholic High, so I had a very good experience mainly because of the people I interact with. Okay, and the quality of the education is very good in my opinion as well. Okay, in terms of improving my school experience, I believe that it would be better if I were to join another CCA, because the first time I actually learned how to play a musical instrument was through CO, okay, in Catholic High, and I believe that I could have developed more in other areas other than just music and academic as well. So probably I would have joined another like sports CCA or something out of music and academic.
Hello, I am Darren. Hello. Okay, what was your impression of Catholic High School before you joined?
Okay, what was my impression of Catholic High School before I joined the school? I thought it was definitely the place I was supposed to go because my brother was already in Catholic High School. My brother's 4 years my senior, so for 4 years I pretty much knew that was the school I was going to and I didn't have much idea about it. You know, back then school is school. You don't really say whether I prefer this school or prefer that school.
Were you involved in the changing of campus?
Yes, I was. I was primary 1 when the campus moved to Bishan Street 22, and back then we had a whole trail of people moving the furniture and everything. It was like this long walk, long march thing where we moved from Xingming to Bishan. I wasn't really involved because back then primary 1 kids are deemed to be too small to be much help, so I was not involved. My brother was, however, and he appeared on one of those moving furniture photos. Nevertheless, when we moved here in the middle of my primary 1 days, we were, of course, slightly fascinated that, this place is so much bigger, and we were with the secondary school seniors, and it got kind of scary. Further to that, I think it was a good move. We needed a home, and there really was a lot of space for us to grow as a school here. In Bishan, in Xingming, the old campus, things were really quite cramped. There were many classes in that block, and so overall I think it's a good move.
So what facilities or buildings were added in here?
Of course, we had a lot more space, especially in the form of empty courtyards. Back then, in the primary school section, we had 2 different red squares. We call them red squares because they were laid with red bricks. So there was one in the middle of the school buildings, which is still there right now. There was another one that was closer to the Jalan Pemimpin site, which has now been built up with another building because the school had to expand. But back then, we had our PE lessons in the courtyards and in the red square at the back. It was really fun because there were a lot of places for us to roam around, grassy patches, grassy slopes along the private estates. Our favorite games were to actually take pencil sharpeners, round cylinder ones, and then we would catch ladybugs. Back then, the grandstand, as in the grandstand staircase, as well as the ISH weren't there. In fact, there were 4 basketball courts and a long plank of another stairs, and we spent a lot of our time around the basketball courts where there were like balancing beams. We played around with the secondary school seniors. In fact, in my primary 6 year, when I moved here, I spent a lot of time playing with secondary school kids, playing badminton in the school hall. But of course, back then, before the prime renovation in the late 2000s, we only had one hall and one canteen. So things were kind of cramped, and we always tried to fight to get our food and drinks. Yeah.
Did any program or results or any syllabus things?
Syllabus?
Yeah. Like changes in academics?
Definitely. I mean, we have moved to IP just recently. You guys are our first batch. But apart from that, you will notice that many things have also changed, not only in the countrywide but also in Cat High. Cat High was one of the more famous places which offered Confucius studies back in the 90s. Of course, this subject was subsequently phased out and they no longer offered Confucius studies, but it was very noteworthy that Cat High was one of those schools that offered it in the first place. Apart from that, the class numberings was also changed. I was not actually studying in the Cat High secondary school section, but my brother was, and I knew that the naming conventions were very much different. Back then there was special stream and express stream to differentiate between the higher Chinese and the express students. And they named the class as 1E1, 1E2, 1E3, as well as 1S1, 1S2, 1S3. Now you have noticed that this has changed very much, and now we are known as 11 to 19. I thought that was a good change, and it was an interesting change that has made things a bit more fair, because frankly speaking, 1S and 1E doesn't really mean that one person is better than the other. It was just a issue of like your higher Chinese, that's all. Yeah. Apart from that, of course, subject combinations, electives, and then subsequently the IP, we have made many different changes to the curriculum, and we are now more geared towards more project works, as well as more assessment tasks, more thinking questions. Things are really different, and I would say that Cat High has improved very much than academically. In the days when I was a primary 6 student, frankly speaking, I didn't choose Cat High because it simply wasn't quite there. Back then our ranking has dropped below 20, and I'm discounting all the IP schools. Back then there weren't any IP schools, and we were still like beyond 20, we were band 2 school. And over the years, we have eventually brought it up to a state where we are a band 1 school and definitely a leader in the educational field.
So do you think that you had educational technology?
In Cat High, yes, definitely my most formative years in my primary school days. In fact, I am a Chinese teacher right now because Cat High School enabled me to build on my strengths in Chinese. In fact, when I was in primary 5 and 6, I was often sent for competitions in Chinese. In fact, I was sent for a national Chinese television show competition. I still have the tapes, and I thank Cat High for giving me the opportunities to represent the school. And I mean, there were a lot of cultural activities. In fact, like the school storytelling competition in Chinese, I also won 3rd place for that one. I was also sent for the bilingual Olympiad back in primary 6. I managed to obtain a distinction in that one. I was sent for Math Olympiad, stuff like that. Cat High gave us a lot of opportunities, and I would say that my strong foundations are definitely credit goes to Cat High.
Thank you for your time.
Hi Yuheng, so how was life like how was like your experience in Catholic High Primary when Mr. Lee took over as principal of the school?
It was definitely very fun and interesting. There was a lot of things he implemented, especially during primary 5 and 6. So we had a lot more excursions and outdoor activities as opposed to indoor activities.
Could you be more specific about the main changes that Mr. Lee actually implemented?
For instance, he built the ISH indoor sports hall when I was about primary 5, and there were a lot of science corners that were built and then torn down and then rebuilt again. Also right now there's a building of the new building at the basketball court.